What if the way you push in Tai Chi was the same movement that powers you up a hill or a flight of stairs? In this video, I'll show you how one simple push can unlock both internal energy and real-world movement efficiency. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Todd Martin, creator of the Tai Chi Code. I believe that for those of us who are practicing Tai Chi for its health benefits, one of the most beneficial aspects of Tai Chi is being able to connect the movements in Tai Chi to our real world movement. And there aren't a lot of ways to do that unless you understand what is underlying the core movements in Tai Chi and how those directly correlate with how we move in real life. That's what we're going to talk about in this video, and we're going to use the Tai Chi Push to demonstrate this. If you find that you like this video and get value from it, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not already following me on the Walking Code channel, which is called Todd Martin MD, you can check me out over there as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into this using a pillar in this case, or you can just use a wall. But we're going to do a Tai Chi push, and then I'm going to relate this to how we walk upstairs and how we walk uphill. And I'm going to show you the elements of the core movement that make the push maximally efficient and what you're going to use when you're using the push in real life. The most common place that we see a push that is labeled a push in Tai Chi is during the grasp the sparrow's tail movement. After we've done ward off and roll back and press, and then we open our arms here and either shift back this way and push, or in the system I learned, we push down this way and then push up and forward. So what we're going to focus on is the final push forward, because it's the same regardless of the system that you're using, and it has the real energy principles involved in a Tai Chi push that we also use in the real world. So when we talk about a push and engaging the core to do the push properly, we have to look at three elements of the core working together at the same time. That is the upper waist rotation, controlled by my upper waist muscles on the left or the right. And in this case, since I'm pushing with my left hand, it's the upper waist muscles on the left that are going to be creating the energy. And then we have our lower abs, which help to orient our pelvis by tucking the pelvis. And they also rotate in the opposite direction from the upper waist. So if my upper waist on the left is turning this way, my lower waist on the left is turning back, so the opposite direction. So it's kind of a torsional twisting action between the upper waist and the lower waist. Then we have our hip muscles that create power. I'm going to show you step by step how we orient the core to do the push properly. First of all, let's look at the upper waist. So what you're going to do, and I'm just going to relax the body so nothing is really super engaged, and I'm going to take the upper waist on the left and I'm going to turn it clockwise. So I'm going to turn it to the right. And so that is the motion of just the upper waist muscle if I don't use any of the other core engaged. Now I'm going to combine that with the lower abs. The lower abs, as I said, tuck the pelvis on that side and rotate back on that side. So if I have an unengaged lower abs, this is what you're going to see. Have a slight forward leaning action. I've just used the upper waist to turn into the pillar here with no lower ab engagement. Now what you should do is take the lower abs on the left and tuck the pelvis under on the left. I'm going to do that repeated so you can see what that looks like. Unengaged lower abs and then engaged. So it's taking the pelvis and tilting it posteriorly or tilting it backward. At the same time, those lower abs are rotating back and to the left. So if you're going to practice this, practice tucking the pelvis and at the same time, sense your belly button turning back and to the left. So that is the lower ab engagement. And it is twisting in the opposite direction from the upper waist rotation if we think about how that rotational action is going. Upper waist going to the right, lower abs going to the left. And then we have one final element that creates the power to this push. That element is going to be the hip actions. Our hips can power either by flexing or by pushing or extending, pushing back against the ground. And so that's what we're using in a push. We have our upper abs, we have our lower abs, and then now I add hip extension on the left. And that creates the full energy of the push, moving against the pillar here. So it's not just an isolated motion. It is three elements coordinating together to create the final push against the pillar. Those movements are coming in a coordinated fashion. When we do the previous movements in Grasp the Sparrow's Tail, let's say we've sunken back like this. Now what we're going to do is engage all of these three elements at the same time. Upper waist, lower abs, hip. When we do it all together, it creates that action. And it results in a perfectly upright posture and engaged core. When we talk about engagement of the core, it's so important to understand that it is not squeezing the muscles. That is not what engaging the core means, although we hear that a lot. Engage your core, meaning tighten your core. But if we just think about it as tightening of the muscle, there's no movement associated with that. I can tighten my core muscles as much as I want to, and it doesn't produce motion. When we want to engage the core effectively, what we're talking about is moving the core in the specific way needed to produce the outcome that we're trying to get. And that involves movement of the upper waist, movement of the lower waist, and movement of the hip. That is what's creating the engagement and the power. Now I'm going to show you how this relates to walking uphill and walking upstairs. When walking uphill, the Tai Chi Push appears at a very specific moment, after we rise to a standing position. As the swing leg moves forward and lines up beside the standing leg, we enter a brief moment of single leg stance. That is the moment we execute the push, using the exact same core movements demonstrated in the Tai Chi Push. This involves the upper waist rotation, lower waist rotation, and hip action. But here's a key point. Before the push, we need to rise with a flexing hip, pulling the body upward. We push forward only after reaching the standing position. Many people try to push the body up instead of pull the body up, resulting in a forward lean that puts the spine out of alignment. The leaning forward mistake allows us to bring our center of gravity over the forward foot, so then we can use the glutes to push up. And then at the same time, what people do is flex their rear leg hip, which moves us to this position. Just like Tai Chi, proper walking technique requires continuous rotation of the waist. By understanding that rotation, we can apply the internal energy of Tai Chi to our normal daily movements, like walking uphill or a flight of stairs. This will ensure proper alignment, smooth and efficient movement, and lower impact on your joints. If you're interested in more analysis like this, I recommend hopping over to my website and signing up for the Walking Code course. And you can also pick up the bundle with the Tai Chi Code. This is the ultimate way to make mindful movement a part of your life.